We are ready here with Jeremy at Ice and Bury St Edmunds, and if you're like me, you like anything with chocolate in. We're talking brownies, aren't we? And you said we have to get into a very special pose because this is the king of all puds, really, isn't it?
I think whenever you're cooking desserts or you're mixing things together with flour, etc., it's like I was once told by a very famous chef: you're making scones if you're in a good mood. Scones are light and airy. If you're in a bad mood, they're really flat and.
Are scones like scones?
Yeah, but they're not from up north or down south, I guess. He's been picking up on my my conversations all day. I don't know what it is. Must be that fine education you had.
That's what it is.
So we're going to make brownie today. So very simple. You can just mash it all together and virtually mash it all together. We're going to put it in a tray and then we're going to cook it in an oven. And we're going to turn the oven down. We're going to have it on 180.
Brownies are just. There's a range of what a brownie is. You know, some people put walnuts in. Some make them quite lumpy.
It's not a brownie.
With walnuts?
No.
Isn't it?
It's a brownie with walnuts. It's not a brownie.
So
brownies are brownie. Purist brownie is a brownie. It's supposed to be crisp on the outside and gooey on the middle. A bit like myself. Some say gooey on the outside, I don't know. But it's got some very simple ingredients. We've got some eggs. So if you'd like to crack 3 eggs into that bowl, please, Nick.
Oh, Lord, here we go.
Well, you're not a one-handed cracker.
No. Are there such things? Here we go.
Go on, no, Nick, one hand, you do it.
Go on.
Nick, one hand.
Try not to put too much shell in it, please. We don't want it that crispy. Brilliant, well done. Well,
Okay, thank you.
well, apart from all
Apart
this,
from the few bits of shell,
all
but
the
do you know
shell
what?
that's in it
That's
now.
all a bit of body. It's not. It doesn't matter.
well, it doesn't when it slices your gum apart, I guess, isn't it?
For those
Anyway,
missing the walnuts, they get a bit of shell.
shell on or shell off. So we added the sugar.
Yes.
Again, you'll be able to get hold of these recipes. They'll all be available for you on the website, carers.net.
Yep.
So if you want to give it a whisk in, you've got to make it light and fluffy. So you need to put a bit of
Do you have to do it at an angle? Does that matter?
no, but it makes you look good. Does that face come with staring?
What's that? What is this whisk with something inside?
That's so you get everything.
It's a whisk with a whisk.
It's a full service whisk. So
It looks like a whisk that's about to give birth to a baby whisk.
you're only talking because your arm's hurting and you're trying to get a breathing, aren't you?
Well, naturally.
Would you like me to whisk? You want to?
Oh, look at that. It's very, very good.
You see how it's getting light and fluffy now?
It's really loose, isn't
Yeah,
it?
see it's getting nice and light. You also have to be careful, a little tip when you're cooking anything with eggs. If you're doing anything with eggs creaming, if you drop the eggs onto sugar, it creates this lactic acid and it starts to burn the yolks, and then when the protein gets all strandy. So when you have things that are all like gritty, it's because the protein has been burnt by the sugar.
Jeremy's top tip.
So when you add the sugar, just whip it straight in.
And the colour's changed completely as well.
Yeah, but that's because you're putting air into it. So we're making it nice and light and fluffy. Obviously, the lighter and fluffiness you make it, the lighter your brownie's going to be. Okay?
Yeah.
So now we've taken the butter and we've just melted it so it's at room temperature. We don't want it too hot. So if you'd like to gently whisk that in.
Gently.
Yeah.
Not what you were doing.
No. Not beat it within the pulp of its life. And then we've got cocoa powder and flour here. So do you know what folding in is?
Well, you do that, you do that, you do that.
You do that, you do that, you do that.
Folding it in, folding it back, folding it, don't you?
It's not a sheet. We're talking about cooking terms now, yeah?
Oh, right, I thought we were making the bed. Yeah. Sorry, carry on.
So we've got cocoa powder. So if you'd like to stop mixing now, we've got cocoa powder.
Yes.
We've got flour. Now folding in.
Yes.
Usually use a spatula and you turn it over gently.
Yes.
Basically, you don't want to, all the air you've put in, you don't want to knock out. But the folding with a whisk, you can just do this. So you lift it through and you just shake it through. You see?
See, I would have done that with a spatula. That's so easy.
What, 2 spatulas?
No, I'd have done it with 1, but you haven't tasted my brownies.
With walnuts. It's all about the nuts, isn't it?
Yeah?
So you see, we just put it together so it's still light and airy.
Yes.
And then if you'd like to grab yourself a spoon, I believe there's a spoon in the pot, or the blue spatula actually, Nick.
Yeah,
please.
blue spatula.
So we'll make sure we've got all of our mix out and off the whisk. We don't want to waste it.
The smell of cocoa, the sugar, oh, it's just...
Beautiful, isn't it? I was at a chocolate factory yesterday in Banbury, Calabo, and when you walked in, it's where they make the chocolate. Isn't it? Absolutely amazing smell. If you just like to do your folding with your spatula, very gently fold those in. We'll try not to be as messy.
No, indeed. We've learnt something there, haven't we, Jeremy? Not to be messy.
Yes, we've tried to. That's it. That's perfect. So you've got the.
So obviously they're still solid.
Yeah. So obviously when you bake, you know there's little soft pockets of chocolate, so it's going to be that
You
unctuousness.
bite and then, lovely, lovely, lovely.
So now we're going to scrape the bowl. Do you like to lick the? Are you a bowl licker and a spoon licker?
Who isn't?
Yeah, that's true. It's one of those foolish questions that when you ask it, you realise that why am I even bothering asking it? So we're going to clean the bowl out as best we can. We don't want to upset the spoon because that's how I first started cooking. Apparently, I was making fairy cakes with my nan and my mum.
What, in little bun cases?
Yeah, and apparently I was licking the spoon and I held it aloft. This is how my nan described it, holding the spoon aloft like Excalibur, saying, "Cooking, this is the game for me. I'm going to be a chef." And voila! So many years later,
Here you go.
here I am.
Am I allowed in a professional kitchen with a professional chef to put my finger in and lick?
Well, when I turn around to put it in the oven, just make sure I don't see your reflection.
Okay.
So this is now going to go in the oven at 180. I'm just going to pop the timer on.
Clean finger.
Here we go.
So how long?
We're going to put it on for 20 minutes and then we're going to check it. As I said, the recipe will be available.
And should they sort of slightly, so when they almost like they've got a slight cracked, slight collapsed top, or not?
Normally when things that you bake and stuff collapse, it means that you haven't built the scaffold up. But the thing is with the brownie, you'll see the ones when they come out when we try them, they're a little bit crumpled. They look a bit like a muddy land that's been dried, you know, like a wadi.
And do you cut them into squares or Mars bar shape, or?
Yeah, we tend to cut them into squares. And if you want to you can eat them cold. If you freeze them, they're amazing on a hot summer's day from frozen because of the amount of sugar in it. It's a bit like a really hard choc ice. So you can cut them into small strips.
That sounds fantastic.
Well, the thing is,
lovely.
it's really, if you want to be really decadent, you can get some brioche and you can make a brioche brownie finger sandwich, a bit like a fish finger sandwich, without the tartar sauce.
So here we are, the brownies are out, and gluten-free flour as well. You found that's just better.
Yeah, so we had some customers that obviously have a gluten intolerance. So they said, "Oh, we'd really like to try the brownie." So we made it with gluten-free flour. We actually found, because of the way gluten-free flour works, it actually held onto the moisture better. So it's a gluten-free brownie, and we found it to be better than making it with normal flour. It's a good brownie, isn't it? See how it's nice. You've got the moisture, the chocolatiness. You've got some of those big chunks of chocolate that's still in there.
That just melt on the tongue.
Yeah.
They're there. All the ingredients, of course, you get from your local shop, from your local supermarket. Want to find out more? Family Carers Net. Details on the website for you. That's superb.
And if you want to add anything different, you can add a bit of vanilla into there, or you can add some spices if you want to spice it up. Put some cinnamon in there, or if you want to be really decadent, cardamom goes amazing with chocolate.
What an amazing treat at the end of a stressful week.
And you can make a big batch, put it in the freezer, and eat them from the freezer, or just pull them out and they defrost in a matter of minutes. And if you want to just warm them in the microwave for 30 seconds, you get the perfect warm dessert.
And you've got the density, the colour inside that. It's just wonderful.
I think you've had too much sugar today. Thank you.
Cruel man.